Do you think now that people are beginning to catch their antics on the left, and that people are beginning to say, this is ridiculous, it's going too far, and I'm sick and tired of it?
There's no question.
Okay.
There is a recoil from what has happened, and it's amazing that it's taken this long, but it's happening. You look at the Washington Post, for example. Readership of the liberal Washington Post is down 50% since 2020, right? No one is reading their garbage anymore. And the same thing's going to happen to the New York Times. And, people are realizing that the country has moved too far in the wrong direction. And, on that point, there's something I'd like to add. First of all, for too many decades, the issues that Democrats have been raising have been ignored by Republicans, right? We've allowed large sections of our country to devolve into ghettos, into crime-ridden communities that lack economic opportunity, that don't have the kind of schools they should have, that have liquor stores on every corner, that have high unemployment. And for far too long, Republicans have failed to address that issue. They've taken the position that I'm not my brother's keeper, and that we believe in personal responsibility, and these people are responsible for themselves. And, you shouldn't be using my hard-earned money and tax dollars to be helping someone who is not doing their fair share, is the attitude that they've generally brought to the table. And the problem with that is that we are our brother's keeper, and that we are profoundly interdependent with one another, and that we can't have the kind of life that we want to have while others are suffering in poverty and misery and crime, where they have no sense of hopefulness and aspiration and opportunity, because ultimately those conditions will fester and they'll reach a boiling point. And that has been happening for decades, and we're at that boiling point. And Democrats rightly are raising those issues, and Republicans need to pay attention, and they need to try to help address those issues. But there's a right way to do things, and there's a wrong way to do things. And the right way to do things is to have a reverence for the truth to begin with, right? Don't lie about things. Don't embellish. Don't exaggerate. Don't use isolated instances to make these ridiculous assertions and assumptions. But be realistic, be honest, and work cooperatively to create consensus towards collaboration and solving these problems. These problems need to be solved. It is in everyone's self-interest that we address these issues and that we solve these issues. But there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And right now, Democrats are pursuing the wrong way to do it. And Republicans aren't doing it at all. And that's the problem, So ultimately, they're going to have to start talking and start collaborating and start being more efficient and effective in creating the positive change that we need to see in all areas of American life and in all communities, including especially our most depressed and challenged communities.
Sure.
So I believe very much in many of the things that Democrats believe in. In fact, you could call me a classic liberal, but a classic liberal is very different from a modern-day liberal, right? Bill Clinton was more of a classic liberal, right? Today's left are radical fringe extremists. Some are Marxists and some are anarchists. And I just have no tolerance for that.